Pittsburgh Steelers legend Jerome Bettis just went off on the Pittsburgh Steelers, saying the standard is not the standard anymore over there, and that Pittsburgh Steelers are in for awakening. Also, he says that Kaleb Johnson is a really good running back. He's gonna be a beast, and he likes what he brings to the table. But first, before I get more into exactly what he said in the quotes, make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates. Also like this video. Now, let's get right back into it. So, whenever Pittsburgh Steelers legends talk about the team, it's really interesting to see their perspective on them and the current state of the Steelers. We see it with Big Ben Roethlisberger all the time on his podcast giving his perspective. And now we got Jerome Bettis' perspective on the Steelers. He recently went on the Zach Gelb show and said this about the standard in Pittsburgh. Here's the quote. The standard has already been set. Now it's up to each team to get to that standard. And they haven't. They haven't met that standard. They understand that. That's why they're doing all the things they can possibly do to keep themselves in striking distance of that standard. But it's an uphill battle. Right now, they're in a situation where they've got this playoff caliber defense, and they're trying to find a way to keep this offense relevant enough where it can be good enough to support this really, really good defense and this group of guys that the clock is ticking. End quote. So, when you look at Jerome Bettis and what he just said there, he said a lot of really important things. He said that the standard has not been the standard with the Pittsburgh Steelers recently. The standard has been set from the prior teams, but obviously the Steelers just haven't met that. They haven't won in a long time. They haven't won a playoff game in a long time, and that cannot be the standard. So the Pittsburgh Steelers know that that's not the standard, and they've gone away from it, and they're trying to get back to it. They know that the Steelers were built on a hard defense and an offense that's supposed to help the defense. And that's what they have right now. They have an older defense and a really good defense, but the offense is just not there. So it's trying to still catch up. And he mentioned that the clock is ticking on some of these guys. And that was like his team when he won the Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He knew that was going to be his final year in the NFL, and the guys wanted a win for him. And he's basically thinking the same thing with the team. Cam Hayward is getting up there in age. TJ Watt hasn't won a lot. So these guys on this team need a win for these older guys, and the clock is ticking. So Jerome Bettis just said a lot, but in reality, what he's saying is the Steelers need to get back to their winning ways, because it's not been like that for quite a long time now. So will the Steelers be able to get back to the standard this season? Well, they signed Aaron Rodgers to get back to that standard, thinking that he could lead the way because he has success in the playoffs. He has success winning a Super Bowl, MVP, things of that nature. So they signed him thinking that that could help. Will that help? Well, we're just going to have to wait and see, because maybe the standard gets back to being the standard when the franchise quarterback is found. And they just haven't had that franchise quarterback since Big Ben retired. So with all the revolving door situations at quarterback, it's hard to find sustainability as the standard, but they need to get back to it. So this season, we're just going to have to wait and see. Anyway, Jerome Bettis also talked about the running backs, because obviously he's a running back, and he's going to talk about the perspective of how he views the running backs right now, especially with Najee Harris leaving. And he says this, and I quote, "I think Jaylen Warren is a really good running back. He'll get more opportunities, more carries, he'll show what he's capable of. But Kaleb Johnson, a young running back they drafted out of Iowa, I really believe he's got a chance to be special. I think they've got two running backs that actually can complement each other that'll create an opportunity. The biggest component to all this is the offensive line. Can the offensive line create the opportunity in the running game, but also help in the passing game?" End quote. So that's a really good thing when a legend like Jerome Bettis is saying that you have a chance to be special. And we all really think that of Kaleb Johnson, based off his film, based off his size, his weight, his height, everything, the way he plays the game, his mindset. We all think he has a chance to be special. And Najee Harris left this offseason, even after having 1,000-yard seasons every year of his career. So he needs to fill that void of Najee Harris. and be that power back. And he could do that. And Jerome Bettis believes that he could do that. Obviously, the opportunities right away are going to go to Jaylen Warren because he's been here longer and he's earned that right to have more carries. So like Jerome Bettis says, Jaylen Warren will get more opportunity, but Kaleb Johnson has a chance to be special. And it's really exciting when Jerome Bettis sees that in someone, because we all know Jerome Bettis was a beast. He could run you over, but also he's fast enough to be able to get to where he needs to be. So Jerome Bettis was a really good running back, and like I said earlier, won a Super Bowl for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So Kaleb Johnson, going into this season, he's a rookie. And that rookie, hopefully the Steelers don't push him away. Because that's what sometimes the Steelers do with rookies. They don't like playing them right away, and they may move to a different person and give other people opportunities. For example, they may give Jaylen Warren and then Kenneth Gainwell more opportunities because they're the veterans on the team now. They're the older running backs on the team. So maybe they give those guys opportunities, and then Kaleb Johnson's just here once in a while for one rush here, one rush there. Hopefully that's not the case, and hopefully just give him a workload right away where they know, hey, we need to split carries between Jaylen Warren and Kaleb Johnson, and then Kenneth Gainwell is just the third running back. So hopefully they go that route instead of going the veteran route, in which they like doing with a lot of positions. So if Kaleb Johnson is given the opportunity, he's a player who's took advantage of every opportunity he had in college. He put up huge touchdown numbers, really good red zone threats, and then also he's able to run the ball, and he has that breakaway speed as well. So Kaleb Johnson can be a monster, and Jerome Bettis sees it in him. And also, just since we're on the topic of Jaylen Warren as well, Jaylen Warren has a chance to be a really good player as well. The last few years in Pittsburgh, in terms of running back, he was probably the best running back on this team when he was healthy. In terms of explosiveness, huge play factor, and just switching up the tempo of the game, whenever he was on the field instead of Najee Harris, it was a better thing, a better look for this offense. So him being on the field more, hopefully that explosiveness is there every single play, instead of just in bursts, like we've seen when he was just randomly on the field in Pittsburgh. So Jaylen Warren has a chance as well to really help this field of play for the Steelers on offense, and these two can be a dynamic duo at the running back spots. So this kind of goes based upon what Jerome Bettis said earlier in his quote, saying that they still have an offense that's trying to catch up with the defense because the defense is so good. And hopefully these two were able to turn that around. Hopefully drafting more offense this year in the draft can help the Pittsburgh Steelers in terms of turning around and meeting the standard. Because we know, like I said earlier, the standard has been a hard-nosed defense, but also the standard has been running the football. So if they could get back to that and do it dynamically with these two guys, then the standard could be met if winning comes along with it as well. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's also Jerome Bettis' quotes and the breakdown of his quotes and what he meant by what he said. So, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Your thoughts on Jerome Bettis saying that the standard has not been the standard with the Pittsburgh Steelers as of recently. What's your thoughts on him going off there and exposing the truth about the situation? Do you believe the standard has been met? Me personally, I believe it's not, because you can't say the standard has been met if you're not winning playoff games. You could win the regular season, but when it truly matters, you're not winning. So how can it be met? It hasn't. But leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Also, make sure you comment down below your thoughts on his thoughts on Kaleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren. Do you think Kaleb Johnson has a chance to be special? And do you think this will be a dynamic duo at running back like he believes? Because he thinks Jaylen Warren is really good as well. Leave your thoughts down in the comments below about that topic as well. And finally, make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis reports. Everything is surrounding this team. It doesn't matter what it is, I will cover it. This is the best spot for everything Pittsburgh Steelers football, and training camp is right around the corner. So you know I'll have you covered with everything, highlights and insights into training camp, with analysis as well. So make sure you stay tuned to this channel, turn notifications, subscribe, like the video, share the video, comment down below, and that's it for me. I'll see you guys all later. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.